But no time to waste. The very next shuffle, I pick up ace 4 of clubs in the cutoff. There's a hijack raise to 2,500. And here, considering this player has a short stack, I have a playable hand. I decide to call as well. And so does the big blind. So we're going 3 ways to a flop of jack 4-5. No way. Let's go with a pair and the nut flush draw. I have tons of equity, but when action checks to me, I decided to not bet this one. I think I can just slow down, do some pot control. Don't need to bloat up the size of the pot here. So action checks around, and the turn is a bink 4 of hearts. What? Amazing. And even better, the big blind bets out 3,000. And what do you know? The hijack player raises to 10K. What? This is what dreams are made of after punting with the ace 10. Now I can make piles again here with trips. Anything I do seems really strong, whether I 3-bet or just decide to call. I'm obviously sitting with the nuts, and it's even cooler to have the nut draw as well on top of that. So have lots of protection, and maybe I can just make the call and get the big blind to be in here as well. So I make the call since the hijack player has so little behind, and the big blind tank folds. He doesn't end up calling after thinking about his decision for a while. Really wanted him in here, but whatever. We're still going to get money in. The river is the deuce of hearts. Actions onto the hijack player first, and he rips it all in for 20,000. I snap call. He shows aces, and gross. I crack pocket aces with ace 4 on a dream flop. This was a very sad mistake of a punt with the ace 10 hand, because in hindsight, I obviously could have had much more chips, but at least this hand makes up for the last punt. But the battle doesn't stop there. Even though we're losing hands, we've got to keep fighting for every pot. So I pick up 8-6 offsuit in the big blind. Is a button raised to 3,000. Small blind folds, and this is a very playable and defendable hand. So we're going to a flop of king 7-4 2 spades. I have a gut shot straight draw, and my 6 of spades is extremely relevant. I start off with a check, and he bets out 3,000. And here with a gutter, one of the really good properties when playing big blind versus button is that you can check raise a lot of your gut shot straight draws with some backdoors. And this one I think falls into a good candidate of that. So I decided to check raise to 8,500. And against a very solid opponent here for a small price, he decides on a call. Now we're going to a turn which comes the 3 of spades. Wow, all things considered, this is a really good card for me. And I have 2 decisions that I don't think are wrong. I can certainly just continue blasting out on this turn and bet big, or attempt to do something pretty creative, which is check raising when the flush gets there. Usually would check raise with strong hands like a flush, and I think this hand would benefit a lot because obviously I have 8 high. I decided to go for the second option and check, but sadly he doesn't fall for the bait and ends up checking back. Now off to a river, which is the ace of hearts, and now yeah, I'm sitting with 8 high, and this spot is just screaming at me to bluff. I follow my intuition and my gut, and I bet pot, 25,000 give or take. This player takes his time. I am looking as stoic as I possibly can, staring at the board, and he ends up folding. Phew, this was a really big river bluff, and I needed to get this one through. Nice to get a fold, and I'm back at 84,000.